I don't know if you got the joke in the email. Maybe it entered the chat. But the idea here is really like for so many years, like working with software and just like clicking your way through, logging into a platform, clicking your way to achieve any task. So what we're going to show you today actually flips that narrative completely. And we're truly seeing like the impact of AI in the way that we work, meaning that it's moving from a passive AI to actually an active one that can run tasks in the platform for you. The main goal for this was for you to spend actually less time in the platform and more time focusing on like business goals and moving the business forward. We made a deliberate decision to not impose our own favorite AI, but rather let you connect to the AI that you're currently using and just like start using it with the Core DNA platform. Why is this different from just using your AI you're already using? So using AI with Core DNA via the MCP means that you're working inside your platform's guardrails and in your world, inside everything that you've created. So permissions, approval, audit trails, your brand book, your components, all of that actually works as the rails that the agents are going to follow and are going to run on. So you're working within a very controlled enterprise environment, which makes you trust what the AI is actually doing in your platform. So where we're at today, what we're going to show you today, and it's live in production, is Core DNA MCP. This basically makes your platform fully addressable from any AI agent. We have about 80 tools, 400 API endpoints. This means you can pretty much like update content, delete content, change structures of pages, all from a simple conversation with your AI. This is live today. What does this mean? That after this call, you can actually set it up and try it directly in your platform. What we're working on. The team has been working on agents. So these are more like agents that watch your platform and work on schedule rather than having to proactively ask them for a task. And obviously on the horizon, we've been thinking a lot about agentic commerce and working on it as we see this as the future of digital experiences, which is agent-to-agent conversation and transactions. So that was it for me. I think we're all here to see the platform live. So we have prepared 3 different demos for you. It's going to be a simple like MCP update via Claude. And then we're going to have like one prompt that actually triggers multiple changes. And one of my favorite is when we say no to the agent. And this is just like an agent that is trying to run a task outside of the permission that it has in the platform. So over to Dom. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, Nazarene. I'll share my screen and jump into it. Okay, all right. So before we do anything, before we start prompting and making changes, the setup is the first thing that we'll talk about. So in our existing Core DNA documentation, under integration docs, we support integration with 3 main providers. So Core DNA MCP can integrate with ChatGPT, it can integrate with Claude, and it can integrate via Claude Code CLI. So this is more like a for developers area if they wanted to, build templates and integrate the Core DNA websites with anything. So the integration itself is pretty straightforward. There's just a couple of steps that needs to happen through Core DNA admin and also through the Claude app. And in this demo, I'll use our Claude app for demonstrating some changes that we can make to our existing website. So check this out in your free time and have it a go after demo. So for the demo, we're going to be running our Claude app for making changes. So from here, there's a main area in the customize connectors where you can see all of the connectors that you have available and you establish connection with. So in our case, I've already configured my Core DNA production site, and this highlights some of the permissions that you have as part of this workflow. If you'd like to add your own, so you'll probably start with a blank canvas, you'll be able to do that through this area, but you can check the docs as well on how to do that step by step. All right, So I'll go one step back and before I do anything, I'll just ask Claude if my coordinate production MCP is connected, just to double check, even though I know, but we can ask those things in the prompt itself. So is my coordinate production MCP connected? So it will check it for me and it will check my profile. And yes, my coordinate production and MCP is connected and it's responding. So I'm pretty much set up to make any changes that I'd like to make on the website. So for our demo, I've pre-planned it, and I'll be using the Y Coordinate website page and also the For Marketing Teams page as an examples of the changes that I'll be working on. So in terms of prompts, I've broken it down into some very simple prompts, essentially styling changes on the website, where in this case, on the Y coordinate site, I just want to change this button to dark, like just a very simple change. So to do this, I can simply copy the prompt, and it's very basic. So I can start a new chat, or you can continue on the same chat. It's up to you. So in this case, I'm just changing the schedule strategy consultation button from original red to dark with a different style. So I can simply just add this little prompt into the chat. ChatGPT will pick it up. It will start searching for the tools it needs to make this change. Based on the URL, it will also identify the page ID. So it locates it, it finds the styles, and then it will start the mutation tool, which actually makes the changes in the admin without you even touching the admin, which is super powerful. So this should be done shortly. Yep, so it's done. The hero schedule strategy consultation button on the live page now uses dark button. Let's verify. So I can go to the page, I can refresh, and we should have our dark button with a different style changed on the live production website without even touching the admin. So what we can do here as well, as part of the same workflow is, let's say we made a mistake and we didn't want to make this change. We can actually ask the MCP to revert the change. So I can say, revert the change to original red. Or you can just ask revert the change, but more context to give it more accurate it's going to be. So it's going to go, this usually happens very quickly. So it reverted back to the original state and we can go and verify that as well. There you go. So back to square one. So this is a very surgical update on the website. The next step that I wanted to demonstrate is, for instance, if you had a number of changes that you wanted to do across the board. So you might be on one page, multiple changes on one page, or across multiple pages. So with this second prompt, I am asking it to make a change to the Y coordinate page, to change the background color of one of the sections from brown to white, and also change the button color on another page in the same request. So I'll just run this prompt and let it do its magic. So it's going to check two things at once in this case. So it's going to take slightly longer, but the result will be essentially the same. So it identifies the ID, it goes through the pages, so it knows it has everything that it needs to do, and then it jumps into the mutate. And the first change is done, and shortly after, we should see the second page done soon. Yep, so all changes are done. So in this case, for this page, we essentially wanted to change this section to the white background. So if I refresh the page, we should see that change reflecting there. There you go. And for the second page, I asked it to change this black button to red button. So if I refresh this page, it will change back to red. And just like last time, we can do also revert the changes. And it will go and just revert both changes and we'll be to square one. So this is a good example if you wanted to just pinpoint some changes across the website. You might have a CTA button that needs to be, for instance, added across multiple pages, and you can't be bothered to going and adding it manually from page to page. You can simply ask MCP to just do that for you in no time, essentially, very quickly. So the last example that I wanted to show you is a little bit more complex. And it's actually what I'm trying to do with this example is to use one existing page as a reference, duplicate the page, and then recreate its content by, in this case, talking why Claude with Core DNA MCP. So we can start a new chat, and I can actually, as I'm creating this page with a slug Y Claude, I'll just demonstrate that this page does not exist on Core DNA whatsoever. So I'll go back to my prompt, and we're saying duplicate the page with an ID. You can be a little bit, you don't have to be that specific. In this case, I just pinpointed to the ID, but you can also give it a URL or just give it a name, and the MCP will figure that out. I'm specifying which slug I want this page to be on. I'm explaining it to use the images that are already existing on Core DNA, and specifying some sections that I want to have on this page. And also making sure that the page at the end is unpublished. So the editor, as the final approver, can go into Core DNA admin, make any changes required, and then publish the page. So it's a little bit of like a safety before actually going live. And let's run this prompt. It will take a little bit longer, but just bear with me. The end result will be great. So in this case, we'll use multiple tools to duplicate a page, to search for media in the media library. It would update the slugs. It will make sure that the publishing settings are correct. So there's a lot of things that are happening in the background that we might not see from this view in the Claude. So it's going through the images, figuring out which images it's going to use for each section. So this can be based on the content that it's actually creating, because we haven't provided any content for Y Claude sections. It will figure the content itself. And then based on the content, it will figure out the image that it needs to use. And the page is done. There you go. It's unpublished. Oh no. No, it's duplicated at the moment. So it's now it's going to go through to the process of changing the content within the duplicated page to be about Y Claude. Shouldn't take too long from here.
While we're waiting, if you have any questions, please pop them in the chat so we can take a look at them as soon as we're able to.
Okay, so in this page, we are creating a hero, a feature grid, managed by conversation, 2 columns, before and after. So the page is pretty long when it comes to content, and we should be done. Okay, great. So now we can go back to our page. So this page did not exist before that. So if I refresh, there we go. So we have a full-blown page on Core DNA using the structure of Y Core DNA page as a reference, but the content itself, it's completely redone, reworked based on the topic Y Claude and what it can do on Core DNA in this case. So we can create content, we can edit at scale, we can duplicate as we demonstrated, we can manage media, run different workflows. It's version safe as well, so any changes are saved in the version control, and you can also control if you wanted to have it published or unpublished. And this page looks pretty good for an AI built page. So that's my part, and I'll hand it over to Dimitri to talk a little bit more about permissions itself. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dom. The main concern people have about AI tools is, can it erase my database? And the short answer is no, at least in case of Core DNA. The MCP server doesn't expose your data in some new way. It doesn't have direct write access to the database or anything. It simply uses the existing APIs and executes all actions on behalf of the user you are logged in with. And there are two layers of permissions you can control. First, the permissions associated with your user inside Core DNA, and second, permissions to use different MCP tools inside your AI agent. I'll share my screen. And here, when you connect MCP server to your AI tool, in this case, it's Claude. When you click connect, it opens a browser, and you need to log in with your own user. And in my case, I will log in with the user blogs@coredna.com. Yep, and now my MCP server is connected, and I'm logged in as this user. So here on this page in Claude, you can control what tools can be used by Claude. And there are multiple read-only tools such as list, blogs, pages, FAQs, and so on. And for each tool, you can give Claude permission to always allow. This is what Dom used in his demo. Claude never asked permission to do something. By default, each tool requires permission when it's used for the first time. Or here you can block some tools forever, so Claude cannot use them. So for instance, in the write or delete tools, we have a tool which allows you to delete pages, and you can just block it, and Claude will never delete any record for you. So let's set always allow for all read-only tools, but for write and delete tools, we will keep needs approval. So now let's go to chat and ask Claude to list all blogs on Core DNA site. So this will run blogs listing tool, for which I approved access. And here is a list of all blogs on our Core DNA site. And now I'll ask it to list 5 last modified pages on Core DNA site. Here it is using list pages tool, which it has access, but it says 0 results. consistent with a known permission issue where production MCP user lacks pages access. This is because my blogs user has access to blogs module, but he doesn't have access to the pages. And even within the blogs module, this user has permissions to create and edit posts in CoreDNA Insights blog, as you can see here, but it doesn't have access to any other blogs. So now if I ask Claude to set SEO title for demo post to test 1, 2, 3. Now Claude will ask my permission to list posts inside this blog and to mutate or change the blog post I want to update. And the result is okay. The demo post now has a SEO title test 1, 2, 3. We can go and double check this. Here is a demo post. And the SEO title is set to test 1, 2, 3. Now I will ask it to do the same thing, set SEO title to test 1, 2, 3 for news post. It's called actually demo news post. So this news article is located in the news blog where I don't have access to. And Claude says that MCP user doesn't have access to the news blog. It only has access to CoreDNA Insights. So you can only do what your user can do. And if your user doesn't have access to certain areas of the platform or certain operations on the platform, you won't be able to do that. Thank you, and back to Nizreen.
Thank you, Dimitri. Indeed, that just reinforces the fact that this is working within the guardrails of the enterprise. So we're running a little behind. I had a question from Mackenzie that asked us to show how you edit a page in the admin after it has been created by the AI. Dom, if you don't mind going back to the demo that you were showing, the Claude page. If we can see, I know we've seen it live, but obviously it was because you were connected and logged in into your admin. So if we just can go back to the admin to see how the page is structured.
Yep, so if I refresh my page, then I should see the Claude. I kept it unpublished. And if I edit the page, we would have the similar, like the very familiar layout where all the sections are broken up into different components. And from here, we can also make changes to the page itself. So for instance, if I wanted to change, let's say this button, schedule strategy consultation, which is the first section on the page, that should be in this area button, and I can change the attribute to be, let's say, dark. And I think we changed the style to have outline with arrow. So I'm essentially doing the same thing, but this time through the admin, and takes a couple of clicks to get there. But once we make the change, then, oops.
You're on the white.
I know I'm on the wrong page. But if I make the change, yeah, then we have our black button with an arrow.
Yeah.
And you can essentially change anything. We could even ask Claude to change this title to, I'll actually do this just for a test. So I can say,
maybe I can clarify because like I know we
Yeah.
can do that from the, I'm thinking of this as like I'm not a developer and I want to go and make the
Mhm.
changes within Claude itself. Let's say there's a spacing issue with the H1. You've moved it to 2 lines instead of 1. I don't want to go into the website to fix it. I want to stay in my Claude chat thread and fix it there. Is that possible, or do I have to go into the back end?
Is that like a template change, like the structural change of the website, like the visual, like the styles of the? Yes, I think I know what you mean. So yes, that's possible. So you could change anything, essentially anything that you see on the page, like in terms of styles. You can change the paddings between the titles. You can change the gaps between the sections. You can make the images larger and smaller, which is essentially through the template side of the thing. So the templates which sit in your repository of your website. So you can do, yes, you can do the admin changes using Claude, but you can also do the actual template changes as well.
Does that answer your question, Mackenzie?
Maybe I'll send a follow-up just for because like I'll want this for my developers, so I'll send a follow-up with maybe an example of like training for them that I think would be really useful.
Okay,
Yeah, sounds good.
for sure. All right, I know we're a little over. Any other questions? Obviously, you can, I will send over an email with all the details and the link also to set it up. And then don't hesitate to reach out to us if you need it set up. All right, thank you, everyone. We're 3 minutes over. Thank you, and you'll receive the email soon. Bye. Bye.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got